You're sitting at a table. Maybe it's a dare, maybe it's just poor judgment at a Thai restaurant. You've just taken a bite of something described on the menu with 3 red chili icons and a skull. 3 seconds later, you are a wreck. Your face is turning a violent shade of crimson. Sweat is beading on your forehead like you've just run a marathon in a sauna. Your eyes are streaming, your nose is running like a broken faucet, and you are gasping for air, frantically reaching for a glass of milk, bread, ice cubes, anything to stop the burning. You feel, quite literally, like you have swallowed a live coal. You are in agony. You are convinced that the surface of your tongue is currently bubbling away, blistering, turning into charred ash. But here is the twist. If I were to point a high-precision thermal camera at your open, screaming mouth right at this very moment, do you know what we would see? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The temperature of your tongue hasn't risen by a single degree. There is no fire, there is no chemical burn, there is no blistering heat. The thermal landscape of your mouth is as cool and calm as a cucumber. So why are you dying? Why is your body dumping gallons of sweat to cool down a fire that doesn't exist? Why is your heart pounding like you're fleeing a predator?
Because, my friends, you have been pranked. You are the victim of the greatest, most elaborate biological con job in history. You haven't eaten poison, and you haven't eaten fire. You have ingested a master hacker. Today, we aren't just looking at biology, we are looking at a security breach. We are going to shrink down to the molecular level to witness a heist. We're going to watch a chemical agent break into the fortress of your body, tie up the security guards, hijack the central mainframe, and convince your brain to hit the self-destruct button, all without causing a single scratch of actual damage. Welcome to the science of spice. Welcome to the lie that hurts so good. Part 1. The boring night watch. To understand the crime, we first have to understand the security system. We need to go to the scene of the incident, the tongue. Let's set the mood. It's a dark, wet environment, a biological cityscape. If you zoom in, the surface of the tongue isn't smooth. It's a rugged terrain of papillae, canyons and valleys populated by the elite citizens of the mouth, the taste buds. The taste buds are a snobby bunch. You have the sweet receptors, always looking for a sugar rush. You have the salty crew, the sour detectors, the bitter alarmists, and the savory umami squad. They spend their days lounging around in the saliva, critiquing whatever you shove into your mouth.
Oh, a hint of lemon, they say. Too much garlic, they complain. They are food critics. They are there for the experience. But standing apart from these sensory aristocrats is a different kind of worker. He's not there for the flavor. He doesn't care if the risotto is under-seasoned. He is the bouncer. He is the night watchman. His name is TRPV1. TRPV1 is not a taste receptor. He is a nociceptor, a pain receptor specifically tuned to detect thermal danger. He is a specialized biological thermometer. His job description is very simple and very boring. Keep the mouth safe from thermal destruction. His protocol dictates that he remains asleep, arms crossed, leaning against the wall, completely inactive unless the ambient temperature rises above 43 degrees Celsius or about 109 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the danger zone. That is the temperature where cells start to cook and proteins begin to unravel. Most of the time, TRPV1 is incredibly bored. You don't eat boiling lava. You let your coffee cool down. You blow on your soup. So day in and day out, TRPV1 just snoozes. He watches the taste buds have all the fun. Nothing happens on his watch. It's a quiet, thankless job. He's just waiting for a true threat, a real fire, something that warrants pulling the big red lever on the wall labeled emergency.
He has no idea that a team of infiltrators is currently assembling at the lips, and they have his specific employee ID number. Part 2. The Infiltrator. Enter the villain of our story, the chili pepper. To the naked eye, it's a vegetable. Well, a fruit, biologically speaking. It looks vibrant, crunchy, perhaps a little inviting. But inside that pepper, lining the white pithy ribs like soldiers in a dropship, are billions of tiny molecular agents. These agents are called capsaicin. If you looked at a capsaicin molecule under a microscope, it looks harmless. It's a long, jagged chain of carbon and hydrogen. It's an oil. It has no pH level that would cause an acid burn. It has no sharp edges to cut you. It possesses no thermal energy. It is room temperature. But capsaicin is a master of disguise. It is a molecular ninja. As you chew that jalapeno or ghost pepper, you break open the cellular vaults of the plant. The capsaicin agents are released into the floodwaters of your saliva. They don't care about the taste buds. They swim right past the sweet receptors. They ignore the salty sensors. They are on a mission with a single target. They are hunting for the sleeping security guard. They are looking for TRV1. The brilliance of capsaicin is its stealth. The body has defenses against acids. It has defenses against sharp objects. But it doesn't have a defense against a molecule that mimics the shape of a sensation. Capsaicin is moving through the crowd, undetected, silent, drifting toward the nerve endings in your tongue. The security guard, TRPV1, is still asleep. He's dreaming of the day he gets to save the mouth from a hot slice of pizza. He doesn't see the capsaicin molecule drifting up to his station. He doesn't see the agent pulling out a set of lockpicks. Part 3. The hack. This is where the heist happens. Every receptor in your body works on a lock and key system. The receptor is the lock, and usually a specific stimulus is the key. For TRPV1, the key is officially high thermal energy, actual physical heat. When heat hits the receptor, the lock turns, the gate opens, ions flow in, and the signal fires. But biology is messy, and sometimes two keys look frighteningly similar. The capsaicin agent approaches the sleeping TRPV1 guard. It doesn't have heat, but it has a shape. A long, hydrophobic tail that fits perfectly, terrifyingly perfectly, into the binding site of the TRPV1 receptor. It is a chemical skeleton key. The capsaicin jams itself into the guard's keyhole. It wiggles around for a microsecond, and then, click. The lock turns. The bond is incredibly strong.
Unlike regular food molecules that wash away with a sip of water, capsaicin is an oil-based, stubborn griper. It locks in tight and snaps the key off in the hole. The effect is instantaneous. The gate on the nerve cell slams open. Calcium ions rush into the cell like a SWAT team breaching a building. The electrical charge of the neuron spikes from 0 to 100 in a fraction of a millisecond. The TRPV1 guard is jolted awake. He didn't feel a gradual rise in temperature. He didn't feel a warm soup. He went from 0 to maximum capacity in an instant. He looks at his control panel. The activated light is flashing blinding red. His programming is simple. He is not designed to understand chemistry. He is designed to understand one thing. If this lock is turned, the mouth is burning. He doesn't check the thermometer. He doesn't look around to see if there is smoke. He trusts the lock. The lock says heat. The guard grabs the emergency red phone that connects directly to the brain. He is screaming. He is hyperventilating. Mayday! Mayday! We are on fire! The mouth is melting! The tissue is disintegrating! Send help! Send everything! Part 4. The false alarm. Now we cut to command central, the brain. Specifically, the thalamus and the somatosensory cortex. Think of this as a high-tech situation room filled with monitors and generals.
The brain is a paranoid commander. It has to be. Its number one job is keeping you alive. It doesn't have time for nuance. It operates on a policy of react first, ask questions later. Suddenly, the red phone from the tongue sector starts ringing off the hook. The brain picks up. Report, the brain barks. It's bad, sir, screams the TRPV1 guard. We have a catastrophic thermal breach. Readings are off the charts. It's like the sun exploded inside the oral cavity. The brain pauses for a nanosecond. Does it cross-reference this with visual data? Does it notice that the eyes didn't see fire? Does it notice that the hand didn't feel heat when it put the food in? No, the brain trusts the TRPV1 guard implicitly. That guard has never lied before.
If TRPV1 says we are eating lava, then we are eating lava. The brain slams its fist onto the console. Dear God, it whispers, they've eaten a burning coal. Why would they do that? Never mind. Intern, initiate the anti-fire protocol. This is not a drill. We are at DEFCON 1. The brain doesn't know this is a chemical prank. It doesn't know you're just eating a chicken wing. It thinks you are actively dying, and it decides to save your life with the most aggressive, over-the-top reaction possible. Part 5, DEFCON 1. The alarm klaxons begin to blare throughout the entire body.
The brain starts smashing every emergency button on the console. "Dump the coolant!" the brain screams. Instantly, signals are fired down the spinal cord to the sweat glands. "Open the floodgates! We need evaporative cooling, now!" Your pores slam open. Sweat begins to pour down your forehead, your neck, your upper lip. The brain is trying to lower your core temperature to counteract the massive heat spike reported by the tongue. It's working perfectly, except for the fact that you aren't actually hot. So now you're just cold, clammy, and soaking wet in a restaurant. "Flush the vents!" the brain commands next. "Sir?" asks the intern. "You heard me! The toxin is in the mouth! Get it out! Wash it out!" The brain triggers the mucous membranes. The nose starts running immediately. The tear ducts are ordered to overflow. You start crying. This isn't emotional weeping. This is hydraulic warfare. The body is trying to create a river of fluid to physically wash the fire out of your mouth and nose. "Increase pumping!" The brain turns to the heart. "We need blood moving. We need oxygen to the repair sites. Pick up the pace." Your heart rate spikes. Thump, 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 thump. Your blood vessels dilate, rushing warm blood to the surface of your skin to radiate heat away. This turns your face bright red. You look like a tomato that's about to explode.
Eject the cargo. If the signal is strong enough, the brain might even look at the stomach and say, "Get ready to purge. We might need to send this back up the way it came." You feel a wave of nausea. The entire body is in a state of total frantic panic. The metabolic engines are revving. The cooling systems are at maximum. You are panting, gasping for cool air, trying to help the cooling process. You are a biological fortress under siege, throwing every resource you have at the enemy. Part 6. The confusion. Let's freeze time for a moment and look at the situation from the outside. There you are. You are sweating profusely. You are crying. Snot is dripping from your nose. You are gasping for air. Your heart is racing at 120 beats per minute. You are clutching the table, begging for milk. And inside your mouth, the capsaicin agents are just standing there. They are leaning against the receptor walls, holding the keys and the locks, watching the chaos unfold. They aren't doing anything. They aren't burning cells. They aren't destroying tissue. They are just tickling the nerve ending. It's the ultimate prank. The capsaicin has successfully tricked the most complex biological machine on Earth into fighting a ghost. Back in Command Central, the brain starts to notice something weird on the damage reports.
Status report. How much of the tongue is lost? Do we need skin grafts? The officer looks at the clipboard, confused. He taps the screen. Sir? What is it? Is it worse than we thought? Well, no, sir. That's the thing. Tissue integrity is 100%.
What?
The brain stops screaming. There's no charring, no blistering. The cells are perfectly healthy. The temperature readings from the surrounding areas are normal. It's actually fine. The brain looks at the TRPV1 feed. The alarm is still blaring. The guard is still screaming, "Fire!" The alarm is ringing, the brain mutters, but the house isn't burning. Slowly, the realization dawns on the command center. They haven't been burned. They've been hacked. The brain looks at the image of the spicy tuna roll you just ate. It was the pepper, the brain sighs. We've been duped by a plant. The panic begins to subside. The heart rate slows down. The sweating stops. The brain realizes it just put the body through 10 minutes of hell for absolutely no reason. It feels a little guilty. It made you cry in front of your friends. It made you look ridiculous. And more importantly, the brain knows that you are still in pain.
Even though there is no damage, the signal from the tongue is still firing because that capsaicin oil is sticky and it hasn't let go of the lock yet. So, the brain decides to offer a peace offering, a consolation prize. All right, the brain announces to the neurological team, we messed up. The pilot is in pain. Open the pharmacy cabinet. The brain authorizes the release of a heavy shipment of endorphins and dopamine. Endorphins are the body's natural painkillers. They are structurally similar to morphine. They are designed to block pain transmission, but they have a lovely side effect. They create a feeling of floating, mild euphoria and well-being. Dopamine is the reward chemical. It's the good job signal. The brain floods your system with these chemicals. Suddenly, the burning on your tongue doesn't feel so bad. In fact, you feel great. You feel a little high. You feel a rush of relief and happiness. The runner's high and the pepper high are chemically identical. You survived the ordeal, even though there was no ordeal. And now you are swimming in natural opioids. This is why, 5 minutes after swearing you will never eat spicy food again, you look at the remaining buffalo wings on the plate. Your tongue is still throbbing, but your brain is high on endorphins. You pick up another wing. Why are you doing that? The TRV-1 guard screams from the mouth.
I am literally still pulling the fire alarm. Shh, the brain whispers. It's okay. We like it now. Entire cycle, the infiltration, the panic, the false alarm, the high, is actually a hilarious failure of evolution on the plant's part. You see, chili peppers didn't evolve capsaicin to flavor our nachos. They evolved it as a chemical weapon. In the wild, a chili plant wants its seeds to be spread. Birds are great at this. Birds don't have teeth, so they swallow seeds whole, fly miles away, and poop them out, planting a new chili bush. Perfect. But mammals, we are terrible for chili plants. We have molars. We grind the seeds, destroying them. We are the enemy. So, the chili plant spent millions of years developing a sophisticated defense mechanism. It targeted the TRPV1 receptor specifically because birds don't have the same sensitivity to capsaicin that mammals do. A bird can eat a ghost pepper and feel nothing. The plant built a mammals keep out sign. It built a chemical fence designed to cause maximum agony to any rabbit, deer, or human dumb enough to bite it. It was supposed to teach us a lesson. Eat me and you will regret it. It worked on the rabbits. It worked on the deer. But then the plant met humans.
Humans are the only species on Earth that experiences a negative sensation and says, "Ooh, interesting. I bet this would go great with lime." The plant's defense mechanism backfired spectacularly. Instead of repelling us, the burn made us obsessed. We loved the thrill. We loved the endorphin rush. We loved the prank. Because of this chemical weapon, we didn't avoid the plant. We cultivated it. We spread it to every continent on Earth. We crossbred them to make them even more painful. We looked at the plant's do not enter sign and treated it like a roller coaster. So, the next time you are sitting there, tears streaming down your face, hyperventilating over a spicy curry, remember what is actually happening. You aren't dying. You aren't burning. You are just the stage for a microscopic comedy of errors. Your tongue is the gullible security guard who fell for a fake ID. Your brain is the paranoid general who nuked the site from orbit just to be safe. And that tiny chili pepper, it's the master con artist, laughing all the way to the digestive tract, wondering how its perfect chemical weapon turned into the world's most popular condiment. It's a lie. But hey, pass the hot sauce. It hurts so good.